how to stay committed to your goals. So today is February 14th. So we are officially, a month and a half into the new year. And for those of us that made New Year's resolutions, first, how many of us are still doing them? How many of those goals have we abandoned completely already? And why? Why? So why do we abandon certain goals, or why do we fall off the train after declaring certain goals? And why does it feel so hard sometimes to stay committed to some of the things that we say we want? So I know for me, when I get excited about certain goals or achieving certain milestones, right, the feeling and excitement of it all is very overwhelming in a positive way in the beginning. And oftentimes the enthusiasm goes way down, and for whatever reason the goal just gets lost somewhere. And this could be due to many different reasons, but if I have to reflect back on some of the goals that I declared and barely even touched or didn't even touch at all, I would say one of the big reasons for that is because the reason and the why wasn't ever strong enough. So when I have a clear and strong why, WHY, on why I want that certain thing or why I want to work towards a certain goal, when it's clear and when it's powerful, there's not really any question about it. Questions as in doubt. But for those times when it's just like a random goal, or it's a nice to have, but there's not a particularly strong, life-changing reason behind it, it just becomes a thing that's nice to achieve, wrapped around this thing called a goal. Sure, there can be bigger goals, smaller goals, and whatever, but when it's something just not super significant to my life, I don't know if I can necessarily call that a goal. At least not in a goal in a sense where it's hey, this thing is going to change my life. It's more of a, oh hey, here's a little side quest that I would like to complete, but it's not the main objective of the year or something. So if you ever feel you feel let down or discouraged when you make certain goals or certain New Year's resolutions, because the habit or the cycle is oftentimes I'll make a list and then I only end up doing 10% of it. If you're ever discouraged by that type of planning, I would say just leave the side quest out altogether and really just put the main life-changing goals that you would want to achieve. Because if the goal is weak, you're not going to be in. You're not going to be in it. And I would say for me, one of those goals for this year was to utilize a planner most days out of the week. And what is currently happening is I have 3-4 different places where I put all of my goals, my weekly tasks, and all of those things. So planner is just one of those places. A planner for me is just one of the many tools that I use. So I wouldn't say I completely abandoned it, but I still do use it a few times a week. But I've just been noticing that because my main weekly list of tasks is on a Google Sheet, I tend to spend most of my time there in terms of checking what I need to do for the week and in terms of checking in on my progress for the week. So this goal of using my planner most days of the week have kind of been slowly fading. Not to say I don't want to use the planner. I still want to use it because it's good, because it has sections like highlighting gratitude and highlighting excitement and reviewing like wins for the day and how to improve on the following day. So there are certain aspects of the planner that I still want to use. So, but now that I think about it, like, would I now consider, using my planner like most days out of the week as a goal? Like, maybe it was at one point, but like right now when I look back at my goal for this year to use my planner most days out of the week, I would say it's not. I'm not as attached to that goal anymore. I don't even know if I can call it a goal, because now that I find that it's not serving me in a way that I had anticipated to. Maybe I was overly excited when, from the thought of, cool, like I'm totally gonna use this planner. So, you live and you learn. That was my learning lesson, at least so far into the year. So have a clear and strong why. The second point is exposure therapy. So you know how that saying goes, out of sight, out of mind? It applies to food, junk food around the house. It applies to goals, and it applies to the everyday mundane tasks that's related to your goals. Why do people sit down once a year and make goals and resolutions and just never touch it again? It's probably because they made the goal on a piece of paper, on a spreadsheet, and it's never to be seen again. So the lack of exposure. So that's why we need exposure therapy. Just AKA being exposed to that thing that you want to have in your life. So if your goal is something that you would want to create and manifest in your life, then you need to be constantly bombarded with your goals. So if your goals were truly important to you, then you would have it in your schedule. You would have it in your calendar. You would have it on you would write it on post-it notes and stick it all around your house. You would have reminders on your phone to constantly remind you to take steps towards those goals. So, if your goal is to get fit and lose weight for the year, then yeah, like in your calendar or on your phone, like, yeah, there better be some sort of reminder like 3 times a week to go work out. Unless you're just one of those naturally gifted people that needs no reminder, then just get shit done, then damn, great. But if you're not one of those people, then you better be bombarding yourself with these types of reminders. Because if it's out of sight, it's going to be out of mind. And if it's going to be out of mind, you're not going to get anywhere close to your goals if you're not actively working towards them and being exposed to the task, to the process of the goals. Last but not least, this is something that I've been kind of feeling in the last couple weeks, but understand that sometimes it's a grind. I could say the same for many different things in life that's not even goals related, right? Whether it's going to your 9-to-5 job, whether it's like brushing your teeth, you don't necessarily always want to go to work. Maybe you love your work, but maybe you don't, right? But like sometimes it becomes a grind. but you go there anyway, right? Whatever the reason is. Brushing your teeth, like you might not always want to brush your teeth, but you brush your teeth. Why? Because it's a social norm? Like maybe, but because the purpose of it is to keep your teeth clean, right? Okay, maybe not the best example, but sometimes it's a grind, right? You know, we can even go so far to say when your significant other is nagging you. Okay, maybe that's not a grind, but in a way it is a grind because, you know, who wants to be nagged? But, you know, you put up with it anyway because you love them, right? Okay, but like joking aside, understanding and accepting that the process of doing and working towards your goal, like it's not always gonna be like sunshine and rainbows or whatever that saying is, because you know how that saying goes, it's like, oh yeah, when someone becomes a success, it's like they get labeled as a overnight success, but then like the person who succeeded will always say like, oh no, like, but you didn't see like the 10 years of, you know, blood, sweat and tears for me to like get to this overnight success, right? So yeah, like those people, those winners had a lot of unsexy moments. They had a lot of grinding. Well, not grinding, but they grinded like day in and day out. You know, those are all of the non-glorious, non-sexy, non-IG highlight moments, right? That no one ever really sees, like at least not like the world, right? And yeah, I've just been saying that I've been feeling this way the past couple of weeks simply because I have been finding, like ever since this new year started, that my weekly goals or my weekly tasks are just really repetitive. You know, it's like work out X number of times, do cardio X number of times, work on my business X number of hours, you know, work 9-to-5 job, you know, certain like, you know, social interaction goals, even like creating content, right? You know, I don't always want to create content. You know, I like creating content. I like speaking my mind about, you know, these type of topics. But, you know, like a lot of times I'm just like, oh, fuck, like I gotta film. And, you know, because it's like for me, filming is kind of awkward. So if you can't already tell, like, come on. But, yeah, I love speaking about these types of things. And I know the long-term goal with like creating content is so that I can reach out to people and connect with people and relate to people and, you know, have people relate, right? And just kind of like uplift each other. But, you know, like, yeah, like all these goals and tasks, like it does become repetitive and mundane. Wait, does mundane mean repetitive? I don't know, man. My English is honestly not that great. So, yeah, anyways, it's just like things become kind of repetitive day in and day out. But because my why is strong, I keep doing it because I stay committed to the goals, because my why is very clear and strong on the things that I do and the goal that I make. But, you know, if you say, take my planner example, it's like I'm not really attached to the planner. The planner is just a tool. You know, it's different than like my other actual significant life-changing goals. So yeah, I mean, just to recap, how to stay committed to your goals. I mean, obviously there are more than just these few points, but at least in this video, the first one is to have a clear and strong why on your goals or your goals. Why are your goals your goals? 2 is exposure therapy. If it's important to you, it will show up in your life in many different places, in many different ways, on many different days. So if it's your goal, it better not be out of sight, out of mind. Have it in sight and have it in mind, and do something toward those goals, most days out of the week. Or at least something every week, start small, whatever. And the third point is to understand and just accept that it's a grind sometimes. Like, it's not always going to be fun, and it's okay, like, if you don't do something towards your goals, on a certain day or on a certain week. You're just having an off week, or you need a week off. Like, that's totally fine. But what we would want to see in the ideal world is for your progress to slowly inch up. Oh, that looks like a fish, but slowly inch up. Like, it's fine if it's like that. It doesn't always, like, this is not real life, I guess, unless you're like this Tesla right now. Tesla? GameStop? Oh wait, too soon? Yeah. Accept that it's a grind sometimes, and it's okay that it's a grind, and it's okay if you want to take time off. Just know that consistent effort overall is what you would want to aim for. So hopefully that helps, and I really hope that you stay committed to your goals, to those things that are most important to you.